Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to try something different and something new on this channel. I'm going to read you a bedtime story. This is going to be a story to help you learn a bit of English and get sleepy in the process and hopefully have an enjoyable, sleepful night. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit the like button on it. Hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell for notifications. That way, you could stay updated on all of the great things happening on this channel. I hope you enjoy, and good night. The title of today's story is called Not That Doggy Kibble, I Want the Good Stuff, written by me. There was an unmemorable ping, or a buzz, maybe a repetitive tone that went off at 7:25 in the morning. Sleep, hard to achieve most nights, generally sank in around the hours of 4 to 7:25. The late night sounds of a scurrying rat, amplified by the house's natural acoustics, made most of the nights sleepless. With eyes beating as they absorbed the morning light, I took a look around the small room and up through the skylight window. Another cloudy day, I thought to myself. Another day on the brink of torrential downpour. I got out of bed and commenced my usual morning routine. I opened up a journaling app and began meditating on my day to come. I showered, brushed my teeth, threw on clothes, and sat staring at the wall for the remaining 10 minutes, wondering if there was enough time to rub one out. Around minute 8, I checked Reddit for a quick laugh and a look at the headlines. As tired as I was each morning after sleepless nights, I never forgot to feed the cats. Like clockwork, as I opened my front door, the felines would start gliding out from their various hiding spots, slowly creeping toward me, yet keeping a polite distance. The big one, a mostly black calico, scoots right up to my side, inspecting my bag in hand. "That's dog food," it callously said. "The store was out of cat food this week," I replied. "When this bag runs out, I'll get you guys back on the kitty stuff." It looked up at me, and back at the kittens, and at me again. "No. Tonight, on your way home from wherever it is you go, pick up a bag of cat food, and we'll be square. I don't want any of this doggy kibble. I want the good stuff." Taken aback by the cat's demands, I opened up the bag and poured a generous amount of kibble on the ground. The kittens looked like statues, waiting for the alpha to go first. The alpha prolonged its staring. "You get what I give you," I gave the cat a stern stare, "or you can go back to crawling in and out of dumpsters, looking for grub. I can care less about what you do." I shrugged my shoulders. "I choose to feed you. If you don't like what I give, then mosey off somewhere else and hope for better kindness." "You're not an altruist," the cat calmly said as it sat down at my feet. "You only started feeding me when the rat started living on your roof. Which you haven't done a very good job of keeping away." "I want the good stuff. It's as simple as that." The cat looked away from me and towards its young. "We won't chase the rat until our conditions are made better. We've all agreed on it." "You're a cat," I began laughing. "It's in your nature to chase rats." "You don't want to mess with us, human. You have until tonight." The cat made its way toward the dog food and began eating as the kittens made their approach, waiting in their own pecking order. I moved on with my day, returning in the evening without cat food. I wasn't going to be pushed around by cats. Instead, when I got home and the cats slinked out of their spots to see if I would feed them, I stared at each one and then closed my door. There would be no more food for the wicked. That night, the scurrying began around 8 p.m. A loud booming sound of crashes and jumps, smashes and bumps, that consisted all through the night. At one point, the calico cat, Alpha, appeared in the skyline window, sitting and staring despite the rat going berserk mere inches away. Restlessly, I did my best not to pay any attention. Sleep came between the hours of 4 and 7:25. I followed my usual morning routine, minus the feeding. For the following week, every day was a repetition of this pattern. Every evening, the rat was loud and the alpha watched me from the window. I would ignore it, but it was always there. I was growing reluctantly tired with each day that passed, as if day after day I was shedding points off my already average IQ. I became more despondent and lazy at work. While having conversations with people, my thoughts would wander far away from where I was, leaving me incapable of proper communication. By day 8, the kitten stopped coming by in the morning. It was only the alpha who would heckle me as I left. On day 9, I began to parley with the cat. "I'll give you what you want if you kill the rat," I said with an abundance of grogginess in my voice. "You win. I cannot sleep." "You took too long." The cat had hate in its eyes. "You're too late. One of my kittens was compacted 2 days ago. It couldn't get out of the dumpster in time." Typically, I would have felt more, but the lack of sleep caused a lack of empathy. I said nothing. "I know that my kittens are mortal," she coolly whispered, "but you took too long, and our agreement is void." "What the fuck do you want?" I shouted at the cat. A few neighbors poked their heads up from their windows to look at the angry man yelling at a cat and then returning their attention to what they had already been doing. "I want a bag of fresh tilapia," she said. "Is that it?" "No. I want 5 Xiaomi smartwatches, 1 for me and 4 for my remaining kittens, so we could be in contact in case of emergencies. I'll also need you to program the watches and connect them to your Wi-Fi." "Are you kidding me?" I grumbled. "A cat with a smartwatch? I feel like I've heard it all at this point." "Listen here, Buck," the cat hissed. "I lost one of mine because of you. It's not like I'm asking for Apple brand. I just want something reliable. Xiaomi is cheap, and it works well." "Okay," I amused. "So I get the watches, the fish, and then we call it a day. You'll kill the rat, and I can sleep, right?" "There's one more thing," it said. "What now?" I demanded. "I want a scooter and a vinyl scooter cover," it demanded. "The scooter must be registered so it doesn't get towed. Then we will kill the rat and continue keeping your roof quiet." "You can't drive," I snarled at the cat. "It's not for driving, it's for shelter. If you build a cat house or leave a box, the old ladies will steal it away. They don't take scooters. It's been awfully rainy this summer, and my children need a place to keep safe." "So let me get this straight," I ground my teeth. "You went from asking for a 20 RMB bag of cat food to a list of things that will cost well over $4,000? You made your bed," it hissed. "How much do you value sleep? I mean, look at yourself. You look like a troglodyte. Get me what I want, and we'll be back to business as usual." I left for work, meditating deeply on my options. The cat had me against the wall. Moving to a new house would cost more than getting the cats what they wanted, and truth be told, there was honesty in the cat's words. With each sleepless night passed, I was becoming more and more like a cave dweller, a subhuman far removed from the modern world. It was indeed in my best interest to submit to the alpha, swallow the cost, so after work that day, I went by a few shops to see what I could muster. The watches, the fish, cat food as a token of good measure. The scooter with the vinyl cover would come later, as I would need to return home and then walk to a scooter shop. As everything came together, I could all but contain my excitement, knowing that I would have deep sleep soon, though there was a sense of frustration that I could have saved a lot of money by getting the cat food in the first place. My main focus was sleeping, so I could finally have peace of mind and a functioning brain. Ending the evening $4,000 poorer than I started, I placed the new e-bike a few yards from my door and put the cover on it. I put the lid on it and the bag of fresh tilapia under the blanket. I went back inside the house and programmed all 5 smartwatches and went back outside to place them in the bike as well. Come nightfall, when the scurrying and thumping sound of the rat bastard began, I looked up and saw the calico alpha sitting in the window staring down at me. As it turned its back, All I could hear was the big pounce and squealing sound of doom fading as the rat's life forces were drained ever so suddenly, like the first snowfall melting in late November. Silence. That night, I fell asleep shortly after 11 p.m. and woke up at 7:25. I was fresh, alive, and full of energy. Unlike the mornings before, I felt full of clarity, happy, rested. When I went to leave and fed the cats, they all lined up poking their heads out from their various hiding spots, each brandishing their Xiaomi smartwatches. The alpha walked straight up to me, and I couldn't hold back my respect for it. She looked silly, wearing her watch. It caused her to walk with a bit of odd and almost limp-like step, yet there she was, after all of this. She got what she wanted, and I got what I wanted. I opened up the bag of food and began pouring it. "I'm glad we're back to our original agreement," I said. She looked at me and circled around me. Meow. I left for work. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you have a great sleep. Good night.